This real life drama is so crazy that it has to be fake, except it's not. And these are not Reddit stories. These are stories that were submitted to you guys through my form. And the first one wants to be left anonymous. My ex-boyfriend sent a sex tape of me and him to my dad after I broke up with him. But like, he's also in that video. Throwaway account because I don't want my ex finding out that I'm writing this, as well as my dad, which means you probably also posted this on Reddit. Fake names are being used. I, 22 female, was in a relationship with my then boyfriend, who we will call Justin, 24 male, for about 11 months. We began dating in October of 2024 after being set up on a blind date. Justin and I really connected on our first date because he had that bad boy aura, and I'm a goth girl, so this pretty much was a slam dunk. Growing up, I've always said that I loved bad boys because I'm attracted to men who have a side to them where they're not afraid to speak their mind and be stern, but respectful. Justin worked as a tattoo artist, so that explained the tattoos, but that just made my feelings for him grow even stronger. Over the next couple of months, we had some bad times, but nothing too serious, and we always made time to be intimate. However, Justin did something that made me realize why bad boys should not be a girl's first choice. I don't mean to get too personal about what goes on in the bedroom, but Justin and I love to do some BDSM and sometimes would record our sessions, we'll say. Well, I clearly didn't think this through because apparently I grew tired of the whole thing and I asked him if we could just go back to doing it normally, but he refused. This caused a ripple effect between us because we wanted different things and I couldn't deal with the whole bad boy persona anymore. So I broke up with him without any hassle. That was until my dad got a message. Some background info on my dad. He's the sweetest guy you would ever meet. He's funny, loving, kind, and he would always say that guys are idiots. You just have to see if they're manageable for you. He has always been my best friend, and he's been the main caretaker for me because sadly my mom passed away when I was 12 in a car accident. He always used humor as a way to cope, and he just basically made me his whole world. So he had met Justin only once or twice because of their different personalities. They didn't really click, obviously. My dad told me that he wasn't the sharpest tool in the shed, but my dumbass mind thought like, oh, he's just being Justin. What he did next all but confirmed my dad was right. This didn't happen until the day after we broke up, and it just happened out of nowhere. I drove over to visit my dad at his house to inform him that Justin and I had broken up. I spent time helping my dad with gardening and I cooked lunch for him. While we were eating, my dad's phone buzzed with a message from an unknown number. I looked at my dad's face and he looked like he had seen a ghost. His facial expression went from 0 to 80 in a few seconds and he started screaming, "Oh my God." When I asked him what was wrong, he had trouble looking at me and started being really distant from me. I really started to freak out when I heard my dad say, "I'm going to kill him." I knew it had to be Justin because it takes a lot of bad energy to get my dad all riled up. I looked at his phone and to my horror, it was a video recording of Justin and I doing the deed, which included, oh boy, I don't even mean to laugh at you. This is just so bad. Which included, we will say, I can't say it all, obviously, viewer discretion. But a whip was involved, is all we're gonna say. Somehow, Justin managed to track down my dad's number and sent this to him. You would think that was bad enough, right? Well, Justin sent a message reading, quote, "Your baby girl can't get enough of this." You're gonna give her dad a heart attack. My jaw literally dropped when I read those words. I was fuming. He was just doing this to get back at me and to try to cause some sort of conflict between me and my dad. I immediately deleted the video and blocked the number on both his and my phone. I literally sat there for what seemed like a long while my dad was upstairs trying to gather himself. I was panicking because I thought long and hard about what I'm gonna say. I mean, what do you say to your father after something like this? Oh, well, you don't. See, I pack a bag, change my identity, and run away. That's what I do. I went upstairs to go find him when I could hear some clicks and clacking noises. I entered the room and I found him grabbing a baseball bat. As soon as he saw me, he looked like the devil had entered his body. Tell me where that son of a is so that I can find him. I immediately took the bat out of his hands and I tried calming him down. I told my dad that he wasn't supposed to see that and that Justin was doing this to just try to make him act out. I informed him I deleted the video as well as the blocked number on both of our phones. That helped him calm down a bit, but he was still pouting. After some time helping him settle down, my dad apologized for his outburst and promised me that he would not do anything. I put the bat away and that was that. As for the video, I promised my dad I didn't know Justin had that video and I don't know how he managed to get his number. I guess he must have gone into my phone and somehow just copied my dad's number. Thankfully, we never had any more worries about Justin after that. If I've learned one thing, it's don't go chasing bad boys, and most importantly, don't record yourself doing it because you never know who might come in contact with it. Only the worst option possible, your father. I don't know how anyone comes back from that, but like good for you for being able to work through that with your dad, but I could never show my face again. Next story also wants to be left anonymous. Here is my stalking story. This happened in 1996, so forgive me if I don't remember every single detail. I need to explain that I was very naive and I did not take this as seriously as I should have. In the 90s, we didn't have the stalking laws that we have now in California. Back then, it really wasn't talked about that much, and we didn't have Google or social media, so we weren't really educated about stalking. When I moved out of my parents' home, I moved in with a friend. We will call her Shelly, and another girl we'll call Fiona. We lived in a 3-bedroom farmhouse. Behind our house, there was a 2-bedroom house that matched ours. 2 guys lived there. One normal dude and his brother, the creep. My bedroom used to be the sunroom, so I had the back door and there were 6 windows, 3 on each wall, and my bed was a catty corner against those windows. It was summertime and around 110 outside. Our house didn't have air conditioning, so we used fans and opened the windows and doors. Oh my god, in a sunroom that would get so hot. One day after work, I had the back door open while I was taking my shoes off, and the creep was looking at me. So I smiled, because I was a nice person. I have always been friendly. I had no idea that it would start a terrifying time in my life. Really strange things kept happening. Several times I came home from work and Shelly would scream at me. It wasn't unusual. She screamed at me a lot. She screamed, "You left the back door open." I had, in fact, not left the back door open. I insisted to her that I had locked it. She didn't believe me. That happened around 7 times. She didn't believe me until he escalated. By the way, this guy was breaking into my room while I was at work and stealing my underwear. I kept putting underwear in the laundry basket and then they would disappear. And he was probably leaving the door unlocked. Anyway, one night I came home after dark. I was unlocking the front door and I heard leaves crunching behind me, like on the side of the house. I turned around and it went quiet. I turned back around, put the key in the lock, and then again I heard crunching. I turn around, nothing. I get inside ASAP. On another night, Fiona's 14-year-old sister was staying with us. Fiona wasn't home. It was Shelly, me, and the teenager, Amy. Amy was taking a bath and she came out and said, "Someone is trying to open the bathroom window." I checked the window and it was locked. I said, "Are you sure someone was trying to open the window?" She was sure and we believed her. Then someone, obviously the creep, was banging on our front door like he was going to break it down. We all screamed. Then he went around the house banging on every window like he was going to break it. We hid behind Shelly's bed and we called 911. It took 45 minutes for police to get out there. Thankfully, the cop listened, believed us, and changed the light bulb on our front porch because it was out. He checked around the whole house and no one was there, so there was nothing that he could do. Within a week, the same thing happened. Shelly and I were home, we hid and called 911. It took 45 minutes again for the cops to arrive. This time we did not get a nice officer. He yelled at us and said that there was no one there and to stop making things up for attention. So at that point, I knew that we were on our own from here on out. One night, I was sleeping with the windows open. I know it's unsafe, but it was 110 degrees outside. You would have no choice but to open your windows at that point. It would become a sauna in that sunroom. I slept in a t-shirt and thong underwear. I suddenly sat straight up and looked out a window, and the creep was standing there watching me sleep. As soon as I saw him, he took off running like he was in the Olympics. I didn't call 911 because the officer told us to stop calling. I know, that was stupid. I should have filed a report. But hey, it was the 90s and no one listened to women. The next day at work, I told my coworkers what had happened. They all told me that I need to call the police and make a report. So I called. The woman on the phone yelled at me, saying, "He's gone now, there's nothing we can do." So rudely, like she was angry that I called. My coworker Martin said that if it happens again, call him, and he would be at my house in 10 minutes because he would run every red light. Thankfully, that didn't happen again. Throughout this nightmare, these two a-holes were having raging parties all night long on weekends and weeknights. I talked to the normal brother and he didn't give a crap, so I called the property management company every single time that they threw a party. We had jobs and we couldn't sleep, especially me, because my back door and their front door were only 20 feet from each other. Eventually, they were evicted, they trashed the house, they broke the walls and everything. Throughout the stalking, I kept getting hang-ups at work at least every day, if not several times a day. When they moved out, the hang-ups stopped. I was a receptionist at a corporation, and the only way he would have known where I worked and that I answered the phone is if he followed me to work. Considering the police didn't give a crap, I'm glad I'm alive, and I'm really glad he didn't come into my room that night to attack me. Was he standing out there watching me sleep and planning something? Was he going to follow me somewhere and grab me? Wait on the side of the house while I was going inside to kidnap me? Who knows? I thank God that nothing happened. Yeah. I thank God that nothing happened too. Not that nothing happened, but nothing more serious happened. Absolutely terrifying. I don't think I would be able to sleep at night. Next story also wants to be anonymous. Am I the a-hole for not attending my wife's funeral because I found out she was having an affair? I, 72 male, discovered my late wife, who we will call June, 69 female, was having an affair after she passed away from brain cancer. This whole situation has completely destroyed not just my whole life, but my whole family as well. Everyone is taking sides as to what the appropriate response is and how I should feel. Some say I'm being an a-hole for not attending her funeral, while others have defended me. I'll provide background about how I found out and why I felt it was only appropriate to resent everything about my past life. June and I were married for 43 years. We met back in 1980, back when we were in our late 20s, early 30s. I was out at a bar with some friends after a long day of work, and June was the bartender that night. It was love at first sight. As soon as I caught a glimpse of her, my heart skipped a beat. She was the most beautiful woman I have ever seen. She eyeballed me and we started up a conversation. I asked her out, she walked out with me, and the rest was history. We dated for 2 years, got engaged in 82, and married in 83. We were married for 43 years and had 2 children, 1 girl and 1 boy. June and I spent our days traveling around the country to all 50 states. She was adventurous and wanted to explore the world, and we had spent so many wonderful days horseback riding, mountain climbing, zip lining through the forest, and dog sledding in Alaska. Before I met her, my life was black and white, and then June was the color. You only hope that when someone talks about like their love story with you, that this is how they describe it. Obviously not the ending though. I felt like the luckiest man in the world, but then I learned it was all a lie. In 2015, June was diagnosed with brain cancer. The news came as a shock to us because June was a very active person and took great care of her body. June started undergoing chemotherapy, and it was literally a slow and painful passing. She basically slowly wilted like an old plant. I was there for her through it all. With the help of our 2 children, we would rotate taking her to and from her chemo treatments. There were good days where she responded well and we were able to at least go out and be active. And then there were days where June would barely be able to get out of bed because her body was so weak. Eventually, June's health declined so bad that she had become unrecognizable. It was like looking at a completely different person, but I stuck through with her thick and thin because I loved her just as much as I did when we were young. You're gonna make me cry. In 2023, the cancer had spread throughout her body and she was confined to a wheelchair. It got so bad after having a difficult conversation with June, we decided that this was the end. She went into hospice care. During the last few months of her life, doctors would come out to the house to help with changing her, feeding her, and just being there to make her smile. June always had a smile on her face no matter how hard it was for her. She passed away fittingly on June 17th. Oh my God, June 2025. It was a very sad time and we had planned her funeral as well as taking care of her assets in court. But then my world flipped completely upside down. This was a few days before the funeral, which was scheduled to be on Saturday. My kids and some of our family members were going throughout the house, helping me gather and collect some of June's belongings, pictures, and some clothing for the showing. While I was going through our closet, I heard our son, George, 49 male, calling out for me from the opposite side of the house in a frantic voice. I ran over and I came to see him and our daughter Sally, 45, with looks of horror on their faces, and I saw George holding to be what looked like a scrapbook. George told me somehow that he found a secret compartment in the laundry room. For context, our laundry room was in a small storage area by the garage. From all I've ever known, all that was in there was the washer, dryer, laundry bin, and a few cleaning supplies. George showed me a secret compartment that he found behind a picture we had hung on the wall. Inside, he found a scrapbook that turned out to be June's diary, and there were some love notes, pictures, and letters that were sent from another man. I scrolled through them all, and some of them contained some love language, and the pictures were of June with this unknown man. At first, I thought maybe it was just a friend or a relative of ours that I just didn't recognize, but all our suspicions were proven wrong when I came across a picture of June kissing this guy. On the bottom right, there was June's handwriting labeling it "My Second Love, 1997. I looked at my children and I couldn't find the words to say what I was thinking. My heart literally forgot how to beat and I couldn't breathe for a solid minute. My kids literally had to provide medical assistance to me because I felt like I was having a heart attack. George felt really guilty for it because he didn't mean to cause me any distress. I have no idea who that guy is, I said. George and Sally just sat there in silence because they were just as shocked as I was. We just went through the loss of a wife and a mother, and then we discover she had secretly had an affair with an unknown man and for an unknown amount of time. My whole world turned completely dark. Everything I had thought I had known was a lie. I had no idea how long and often June was cheating on me, and now I was left with these loose ends. She took her secret to the grave. 43 years together, and I learned that she was living a double life. How could I have not known? I didn't have any clues, and I didn't know how to even tell people. I started texting a picture of them to all of our family and friends, trying to see if they recognized the man in the picture, but no one did. June clearly covered her tracks very well. She cheated on me for God knows how long with someone completely unknown by everyone and didn't have any traces or ties as to how we could possibly find him. My kids even tried doing image reverse searches and nothing came up. I told the kids to leave because I needed to be by myself to process this bombshell. I spent the whole day and night going through a mix of emotions. It was a mix of sadness, anger, and betrayal. I cried myself to sleep that night. I'm not proud to say this, but I took some of June's jewelry and other belongings and I smashed them into pieces. I had to take my anger out on something. After finally gathering myself and taking time to reflect on it, I called my kids as well as some of our closest relatives to inform them that I would not be attending the funeral. June was a liar and a cheater. I stuck by her for 43 years. the lowest of the lows, and she couldn't even remain faithful to me. In my opinion, that didn't warrant me to pay my respects. I didn't even want to see her because I couldn't look at her because the woman I loved was truly dead for all I know and may have died a long time ago. They tried telling me that I was just going through one of the phases of grieving. No, there was no mourning a cheater. I told them I was putting my foot down and that I would not attend, and that if it were possible, have them instead cremate June's body rather than bury her as we originally planned. I did stay home while the showing and funeral took place. Some family members told me although I had the right to be angry and resent June because of this, it was still wrong to at least not be there for the rest of the family because they were mainly going there to support me. Even though June didn't do this to them, they had to understand what I was feeling. How would they feel if they discovered their spouse did this to them? Would they still have the same opinion? I think not. This has now caused a division in our family because June was our family's rock. It was so hard for everyone to process the thought of her being a cheater. It wasn't anything no one could have ever imagined June doing. I told them that I had repressed all the feelings and memories I shared for June because I had been dealing with the fact that I spent 43 years of my life that had turned out to be a lie. I don't care if it was a one-time thing. Cheating is still cheating, no matter when it happens, and the fact I didn't know about it until my wife was gone tells me everything that I needed to know. My kids don't talk to me as much as we used to, and other relatives have gone no contact with me because they told me I was being an a-hole because I was disrespecting June's memory. I'm sorry, but June pulled the ultimate disrespectful card by cheating on me and didn't even tell me. They don't get to decide what's disrespectful when it's not something that concerns them. I'm now just a loner old man trying to live the best life I can, but I just feel like I not only lost my wife, I lost a good portion of my family too, and it's all because something I didn't do. I just feel so lost, and now I'm left to wonder if this is now how my family will view me when my time comes. Am I the a-hole for not attending my wife's funeral because of this? I am very curious to hear what you guys are going to say. It's not like I can go to the Reddit comment section since this was just submitted through my form. I need to know what you guys are thinking. And Sasquad, he might be seeing this as well since he's obviously a member of the squad. So let's answer his question for him. We got another story, but first I need to drink some water, and so do you. It's Hydration Station. This is your reminder to drink your water. Cheers. We have an update. So Miss Lila Girl went to her vet, her annual checkup. She had blood work done for heartworm testing and all early disease testing, everything, her little physical exam, and guess what? She is perfect. Although maybe we don't bring up the bad news. It's not bad news, you guys. Not totally bad news. We're just keeping an eye because they heard a very faint heart murmur. It's on a very low scale. They said it can just be anxiety, stress, whatever. We're going back in 2 months to check on it. They're not too concerned. But other than that, they said she is doing so good and in great health for 13. So we're happy over here. She's probably not happy, but I am. Next story is also anonymous. My husband, Matt, ex-wife Barb, is a lot. Barb is pushing 50 and has a talent for acting more immature and nastier than the cows I went to high school with. Okay, so we don't like Barb then.
You can't sit with us!
I'm almost convinced that her main source of enjoyment is sending cranky emails and text messages to Matt because even 5 years later, they still come in so frequently that sometimes I wonder if she's got a life away from her keyboard. Just for clarification, they're still in contact because they have 2 children. The main one for this story is female 14 and her name is Lucy, that they share custody of. When the emails are particularly nasty, he gets to a certain point in them before he asks me if I can deal with it for him. I break down the bullet points of her message and I keep out the toxic mess that she spewed about him out of it so that his feelings don't get hurt, but still get the information that he needs about the kids. Sometimes the kids aren't even mentioned and it's just a rant about him, about me, about us, about the world. She literally just rants a lot. Truthfully, when he asks me if I can handle it, I binge your videos and I usually have you playing on Spotify through my headphones so I can try and channel a little bit of your sass. It makes it easier to ignore her toxicity. I don't think I've ever been so honored by that. A little bit of backstory. Matt and I started dating over a year after they had split, and they had remained friendly up until she found out about his love life. Even though we were sure that our relationship was solid and we were going to live the happily ever after fairy tale crap, I had reservations about becoming public because I'm a private person and I never dated anyone who has kids. So I wanted to find my footing and make sure that we were both on completely the same page before I even considered becoming a stepmom. Well, Barb made sure that didn't last for long because she is a psychotic biatch. Your words, not mine. I'm not exactly sure if she hired a private investigator, stalked him herself, or got a friend to do it for her. All I know is that one day during the switch of custody, Barb had a thick folder of photos of his car at my house, us out for lunch, us at the grocery store holding hands, etc. I still have no idea how she had them because I never even saw them, but I did get a phone call from a teary Matt who had just been screamed at in front of his kids, saying that he was disgusting and a terrible father for reasons I still don't understand. Well, she's a jealous, scorned ex, and because he moved on with his life, she's not happy about it. Our relationship that had been safe, quiet, and private suddenly got posted on Facebook and told to all of Matt and I's friends with a warped story that we had been having an affair for years and I was the cause of their divorce. Now I can look back and laugh at the audacity of it, but at the time, all I wanted to do was crawl under the covers and cry. Barb hates me and that's fine. I don't hate her. I don't have any feelings towards her. She's the ex-wife to the love of my life. And the mom to two beautiful kids who I binge watch Disney movies and build a Lego with. She's just there. Just a ranty, snarky, word I can't say, who can't keep her anger in check long enough for it to not hurt the kids. So now, the other kid, male 16, lives with us full time, and female 14 lives with us 70 to 80% of the time. Anyway, on to the why I need advice part. Lucy, the 14-year-old, came back to our house in tears and didn't want to talk to anyone. When I went to check on her while she was unpacking, she screamed at me to leave her the F alone and told me that she hated me. I didn't know what was going on or what I did. Truthfully, it kind of hurt, but I just went and got her a cookie and I told her that she could talk to me when she wanted to. When Matt was in the shower, she crawled into bed with me and apologized for screaming at me. I told her it was fine, thanked her for apologizing, and then I asked if she was ready to tell me what was going on. I have a feeling it's gonna be Barb. Lucy was at a birthday party. Crazy Barb went to pick her up and started on about how her cheating ex-husband had gotten married to a gold-digging sloot and told the warped version of our relationship that she had told to her friends when we first got together. In the middle of this party, to a mom who didn't ask in front of a bunch of 14-year-olds. Apparently, I've decided that I want to go back to 50-50 custody because I can't handle Lucy. That I've openly admitted that I'm only with my husband for his money and that I deleted the photos of Lucy from our wedding because she ruined the aesthetic. I have never said any of this. I also have photos of Lucy from the wedding up in our house. Now, in the moment, I wanted to tell Lucy that Barb is a dumpster fire who needs to be crowned the mayor of stupid, but I didn't. Instead, I told her I was sorry that she got embarrassed at her friend's party. We ended up looking at the wedding album and drinking hot chocolate up until past midnight, just so I could remind her how beautiful she looked and how proud I was of her. We talked about the cheating claims. I scrolled back through 5 years worth of messages to show her the date of when he asked me out on our first date, which clearly shows that it was a year after they got divorced. It was frustrating, but worth seeing the relief on her face to have concrete proof, even though I think deep down she didn't even want or need it. I don't know what to do here. I haven't met the mom who got ranted at the party, but Lucy is convinced that she's never going to be invited back because of the scene, and she was too scared to go to the school this morning because she's convinced that none of her friends are going to want to talk to her. Am I mean to contact the mom and explain the situation? Do I take her cookies to apologize for Barb's behavior? Do we contact Barb to talk to her about it? Do I send flyers flyers for therapy through the mail to Barb's address with no return address. I am not considering leaving my husband or the kids. That would never happen, and we've got a beautiful little life going on with a dog and a bird and a fireplace that gets lit every night and a kitchen that gets danced in. I just thought that 5 years later it would get better by now and we would be at somewhat an amicable place. But every time it calms down, it somehow starts up and gets so much worse. I'm tired. I'm so tired. I just need some advice on what I should do because I can't seem to figure out what the right thing is here. I feel like you guys all know that I'm not qualified for this. But I've read a lot of stories and I have a feeling that many people, once they go through a divorce and the other partner moves on with someone new and kids are involved, it's not always a pretty story. Let's all chime in with some advice in the comments. And a reminder, if you want to get your story in, the forum will close once it has reached 100 submissions. It is more than halfway through, by the way, just to keep in mind, last time I checked. So get your story in. It is linked in the video description of every single video. Stay classy out there. Stay sassy. I'll see you tomorrow.